to solve a system of equations using the elimination method, we first have to make sure that we have a system of two equations. So we have one equation here and one equation here. They should be in standard form. So that's where both variables are on one side of the equal sign and there's a number on the other side. So to know that we can eliminate, or to start eliminating, we need for one of our variables to be able to add together to 0. So here we have 3x and x, so if we add those two together, they won't make 0. But on this side we have 4y and negative 4y, so if we add those two together, they will equal 0. So that's what we want to achieve here, so that we can eliminate one of our variables and then solve for the other one. So to start doing that, we have to actually add our equations together. All the pieces of our equations we're going to add together. So we're going to add 3x plus x, which is 4x, and then our 4y and negative 4y, those equal 0 when you add them together. And then 24 plus negative 8 is 16. Okay, so now we have 4x equals 16. So we would just solve the way that we normally do. We have 4x on this side and 16 on this side, so we need to get x by itself. To do that, we need 4 to equal 1, so we're going to divide by 4 on both sides. Also here, we're multiplying by 4, so to get rid of the 4, we have to do the opposite. So we're going to divide by 4 on this side, but that means we also have to divide by 4 on this side. So this is brought to 1, so 1 times x is x. And then 16 divided by 4 is 4. So we have our value of x. But then we only have x, we also need our y coordinate. So what we need to do is take this x value and put it back in our equation where x used to be. So all I did here was rewrite this equation, but I replaced x with 4. So then we multiply these two together because they're both numbers. So we have 3 times 4 is 12, plus 4y equals 24. And then we just solve for y. So over here, we're going to get rid of our constant first. It's our 12. We're going to subtract 12 from both sides. I forgot to draw my line. Okay, so we're going to subtract 12 from this side, but we also have to subtract 12 from this side so that our equation remains equal. Okay, this becomes 0. And we bring down our 4y, and then 24 plus negative 12, or 24 minus 12, is 12. Okay, and then we just complete the rest of our equation. We have 4 times y equals 12, so we're going to divide by 4. That equals 1, so 1y equals 3. Okay, so our answer has two components, an x and a y coordinate. So we're going to put those as a point. I wrote that wrong. So our x value should always go first, and then our y value goes second. So this is our point. So that's the answer. That's the solution to our system of equations. So when we get an answer to a system, it's going to be our solution. For the next example, sometimes we need to multiply by a number so that our equations can have our two numbers that equal 0. Because here if we add 2x and 3x, that doesn't equal 0. But if we add 4y and negative 2y, that won't equal 0 either. So we actually need to multiply by something. By a number, we need to multiply by a number that will make either these two numbers the same number but with the opposite sign, or these two numbers. And I know just by looking at these that if you multiply 2 by 2, then you get 4. And then when we do that, so I'm going to multiply this whole thing by 2. When we do that, I'm just going to rewrite this top one over again. And then when we multiply this whole equation by 2, we get 6x, because that's 2 times 3x. And then 2 times negative 2y is negative 4y. And 2 times 3 is 6. So when we multiply this whole thing by 2, that gives us our opposite numbers. Okay, so when we add them together, we get 0. So when we add these together, we get 0, and that's what we want to do so that we can eliminate this variable first. So I'm going to just add my equations together now. We have 2x plus 6x is 8x. 4y plus negative 4y is 0. That's what we wanted. And then 18 plus 6 is 24. Okay, and now we just have 8x equals 24. So 8 times x, to get rid of that 8, we're going to divide by 8. So that equals 1. And then if we do that on this side of the equation, we also have to do that on the other side. So we're going to divide this side by 8 also. So we get x equals 3. Okay, so that's half of our answer, but we also need the y value. So what I'm going to do is rewrite this equation again, but instead of x, I'm going to write 3. So we have 2 times 3 plus 4y equals 18. That's an equal sign. Okay, so our 2 times 3 is 6. And I'm going to bring everything else down. I'm just simplifying this equation. Okay, and then now we can solve for y. So we have 6 plus 4y equals 18. The easiest thing to do would be to subtract the 6 first. We're going to subtract the 6 first from both sides of the equal sign. So subtract 6. Okay, and over here, 6 minus 6 is 0. We're going to bring down the 4y. And 18 minus 6 is 12. Okay, and then here we have 4 times y equals 12. So because these are multiplying, we're going to divide 4 on both sides. Okay, 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1 times y is just y. And 4 divided by, 12 divided by 4 is 3. So for this, our x value and our y value are the same, but the x value is still going to go first. So we have 3, 3, and that's our solution. So this first one is always our x value, and the second one is always our y value. And that's how you solve systems of equations using elimination.